So, at the start, there you go. So your left hand one here now was your before. I mean, setup wise, not consciously, but you look a little bit close on that right hand one. Whether that's something you've done your own self, I don't know. Maybe sort of seeing tigers, so you're looking a little bit closer to the ball, maybe just shuffled a bit closer.
I do think right around, I'd probably change how close I stand to it.
I think a lot of that is the fact there's not probably one dialed in setup that you've got as a sequence that you do. You just grab it.
My swing changes right around,
Exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, fatigue and stiffen and warming up and all this kind of stuff. So in terms of takeaway now, I'm going to put a line down through your hand there now. You can see as you go back here, your hands kind of move out and away from the body there. So the club kind of ends up going back kind of in line with your hands, but your hands have moved the club out and away. So there's not much of a body rotation there, and your hand path moving in this direction, away from the body, is going to lend itself to you catching some of towards the heel. Because if you just stayed there and didn't rotate, just moved your hands in that direction, the club moves that direction, catching the heel of the golf club, or more likely to catch it with the golf club, unless, of course, you do some sort of dramatic kind of change. So the arms now are going to be sort of swinging the club up. You sort of see yourself rising up here in the backswing now, and then sort of coming back down the golf now, a little bit steep. Hands are quite a long way from the body there, lending itself to some of those unmentionables, as we call it. So the feeling now is the hands are going to work in and around. So the hands work in and the club head stays outside the hand. The first few moves you made, the hands would work in, but the club would whip behind you. So when we're doing that drill, we said with the stick, imagine that stick is going back and just going to brush along that left leg there as you go back. So look at this movement here now, really good. I mean, that is, to be fair, in a sort of second or third swing you made, that movement there is class, yeah? You can get that club working into that position here now. The swings up on plane now, it looks a little bit steeper there as you go back. This is good. I know we mentioned that there. It looks a little bit out of control when you get to that full position here now, but generally speaking, you can see the hands now a little bit more into the body. They're not as far away from where they started, so your club now is striking more the centre of the golf club, yeah? But definitely those two positions, if we go back to that there, compared to that there, I mean, just look at the bend in your arms and more. So this here now, your arms have kind of stayed in with your chest, and you've just done that.
Yeah.
So yes, your arms have moved in space, but they're not being actively moved yourself. The club head stays outside. There's your shaft line now, perfect. Whereas your shaft line there is not too bad, but if your arms are going to work in the way you've rolled your forearm to do that, means that club's going to be whipping too far inside, coming up here somewhere, and then you're reacting. So once that club, it's almost like you're chasing that club around the corner all the time. And you're good at reacting, but I say it's an inconsistent way of doing it, yeah? So get those hands working in better on the way back. If you can just drill that over and over again, and I said I'd be very surprised, and you surprised me. It's a fair play to you getting that club working there. Most people take weeks, possibly even months, to get that takeaway so dialed in, okay? Now, okay, you did it in the first 2 or 3 swings. Will that continue to stay there? It might take a bit more kind of drilling just to get used to it. But doing that drill with the club, so just hold the club there, just flip it underneath your left armpit and just get the sensation of that club working back. Just doing that over and over again to the point where you just can't not do it, mate. Because once you get that club going back there now, the club's nicely on plane, your hand plane's better, the club face now square. Once you're doing that to the point where you can't not do it, then we'll probably revisit that elbow again, which I think is working better. It's not above your shoulder now because your elbow's here. That's a positive, okay? When you're here, it's kind of like sticking out. So it is certainly a better position, and again, you're able to make a reasonable contact from there, as we've seen. It's just getting that sort of takeaway dialed in, mate. Okay, so working on that takeaway, all right? Right, let's have a couple more then, buddy, and we'll see how we can do from there, all right, mate?